Hello everybody. This is Christoph Heusgen speaking. I see that James is there. Anybody else? James, you are the most dedicated one. Good to see you. Just a few remarks. We had already this morning a meeting of the Security Council as an Arria in Arria format, and we co-hosted together with Afghanistan, Indonesia, and UK on the topic of women and peace process in Afghanistan. We had an all-woman panel, very impressive contributions from Afghanistan, and the main issue was the peace negotiations, the intra-Afghan talks, and the participation of women, the preservation of women rights in Afghanistan, and of course the inclusion of women in the peace process. Then this afternoon we have a meeting of Security Council on the situation of Mali that was requested by Russia, looking at the domestic crisis in Mali. We had a number of clashes between protesters and security forces, which is indeed concerning. We appealed to both sides to exercise constraint. We want, of course, a peaceful resolution of these clashes, and we want the government, the society to concentrate on the implementation of the peace agreement, and also to see to it that within the country we have something, as we would call it, good governance. The international community is engaged. ECOWAS, as you know, was engaged with its leadership, and we'll have a briefing from the special representative from Mr. Anadif. And then at the end, we have, following the discussion on Mali, we will have any other business that was requested by Belgium, Estonia, France, UK, and by us. It's on the DPRK sanctions regime and on one specific issue, and this is the so-called conversion rate. This relates to provisions in the resolution, in the sanctions regime, which requires those that deliver oil or oil products to annotate this and to say exactly how many barrels are delivered to North Korea, because the threshold is 500,000 barrels. But until now, for the refined products, this is usually then stated in tons, and we have then countries, this is in particular Russia and China, that have problems to translate tons into barrels, and therefore we have for a long time these discussions in the sanctions committee, which make it very difficult to implement these sanctions. And these sanctions are of course key, taking into consideration that North Korea is continuing to its nuclear program. So that's the afternoon session, and I am happy, since we have 2 more minutes before the meeting starts, to answer questions. As I know, James, you have a question.
Yes, Ambassador, ECOWAS have come up with a new 4-point plan. Do you think the Council is going to be able to come up with any sort of statement? And do you think it would be a good idea to endorse that plan? The problem with it seems to be that it doesn't include the resignation of the President, which is the key demand of the other side, the opposition.
Well, you say what, you point your finger as what was the problem. You know that ECOWAS already had a mission, an in-person mission last week. We wanted originally to have the meeting last week, but then on the request of Niger, we put it today, because Niger is represented and chair of ECOWAS. You know, I want to wait until our friend, the ambassador of Niger, will brief us on the efforts of ECOWAS, and then we go from there. Also with regard to the question of press elements. So we have to see. It's complicated, and yes, we have to see what we'll be able to deliver here today.
And one more, if I may, Ambassador, on something you're not discussing today, but UNIFIL, you've heard of the clashes that have been reported between Israel and Hezbollah. How concerned are you, and do you think it'll play into the discussions which are going to be taking place in the next few weeks on the renewal of the peacekeeping forces mandate?
It is of course, worrying when we have in this area where UNIFIL is stationed, when we have these clashes. And it has been for years going up and down with regard to the tensions in the area. We believe UNIFIL is a very important stabilizing actor in the region. We'll have it on the agenda we'll have it on the agenda of the Security Council. We believe that UNIFIL plays an important role there, a role which contributes to coming down of the situation. We don't have a report yet on what you have just mentioned. We have to see how it plays out there. But always worrying when you have these tensions. Okay, so it's good to see you. Thank you for your interest.
Thanks, Ambassador. Bye.
Bye bye. And tomorrow we'll do a real one.